Hey there, friends. Welcome to the Common Kaiser Show. It's great to have you here. Great for another episode here. Today we have our special guest here, like always. Everyone's special in that way. Today, a good friend of mine, we both went to college. We were on Seaver University's track and field team together for about 4 years, from 2015 to 2019. Good times, good times. We both graduated last year. We were actually able to graduate, so that was nice. This guy was at Cedarville. He majored in biology. I assume a Bachelor of Science, right? No, it was a Bachelor of Arts. That's right. I forgot. Yes. Initially, he's from Rootstown, Ohio, or Atwater, or whatever.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pick your poison. And he currently attends Liberty University to pursue a master's in teaching and is currently on their track and field team as well. And he's a thrower. So got to use that red shirt, right? So that's good. That's good.
Technically two.
Yes, technically two. Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Now I'd like to take a moment to introduce my friend, Lane Hluch.
Well, Wade, thanks for having me on the show. It's an honor.
Of course, it's always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure.
Good times.
So you ready for the warm up?
Oh, yeah. Hopefully I don't screw this up like last time.
Oh, I'm sure it won't be any worse than last time.
They were good questions. I just couldn't think of an answer.
That's okay.
That's right.
It's all good. All right. So first question. This is an audience question. This one's coming from my sister, Morgan. She's asking, what is the best/worst way someone has mispronounced your last name?
Is it like two different answers or just like the worst? The best I've ever got is in a track meet. I remember someone called me Lane Hluch.
Hulk?
Yeah.
Oh,
I got
nice.
Hulk. That was pretty good. Otherwise, I nothing really stuck out as the worst. You get Hluch, Hutch, just like nothing particularly bad. Just usually never correct.
Gotcha.
Unless someone knew me really well.
What about
Yeah, when you and Wyatt said that to me one time, you're like, hold on. No, when it was Alex.
Alex Embleton?
That's
yes.
right.
Well, the best part about that, so for those listening at home right now, so how that went down is I had my buddies over. It was Alex, Kyle Krzyzewski, Michael Hopkins, good friends of mine from high school. And we had you over as well. This was over summer. I believe this was after our freshman year of college. We had them over. So I think this is probably the first time you met them, or maybe had before. And Alex, he just started talking about your dad because your dad works at our school.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, there's like Jeremy, and then there's that one guy. Like, how do you even say his name? Like, Mr. And it's like, he didn't know that you were his son. It was like, Alex.
I didn't take it personally at all, but I guess you could say that's definitely like the worst.
Oh, that was
mocking.
So funny.
Yeah,
I was like, that is
hilarious.
great. Just the fact that he didn't know you were his son.
I'll give him that one. That was pretty funny.
It was great. He has a very good sense of humor. Like, so good. I'm like, wait, what did he just say? All right, next question is from my sister as well. She's asking, who is Wade's best sister?
Clearly Morgan.
Oh, I lost a bet on that one. I said to her beforehand that you were going to say Wyatt. So
I thought about it. I'm like, well.
Either way, it's a win for her. Boring. Not Agnes, the baby.
I forgot about that.
Little baby girl.
That's tough, but.
Agnes is my dog.
Well, I think Otis is the best child in this family.
Are you sure?
Best male child.
Otis is a fatty.
Dude, he's put on weight.
Chunky. Hey, jumped on your junk when you came in. You're like, dang.
He was like, oh, you put on weight.
Yes, he has.
That's okay.
All right, next question. What do you think people might think is weird about you?
Like, what if I was trying to be in the perspective of someone else? And what would they think weird about me? I'm kind of contradictive when I talk. I'll be like, oh, that's really good that you did that, but blah, 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 blah. I say, I'm actually kind of working on that. I'm trying to be, like, more direct, more stern in what I say. But I've been very, like, try to give, like, some sort of, like, I don't know, background. I understand the situation, but blah, 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 blah. I think I've been called out by my brother about that a lot.
I get that.
I also say a bunch of stupid stuff.
Like everything you say?
Well, close, but I was referring to, like, I'll say, I'll be talking to my brother, like, hey, broski with the Moski, God's plan. Because it's from the song God's Plan from Drake. Not that specific part, but, like, I kind of took that, and then I said broski, and I just kind of combined it, and now it's just, like, kind of annoying.
Basically plagiarism.
Yeah, well, more paraphrasing than plagiarism.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I maybe that's it. that I can the best that I can think of.
Fair enough. All right. Next question. If someone wrote a biography about you, what do you think the title would be?
Gosh, I remember watching some of your other podcasts, and you would ask this question. And
Yes.
I don't know. The history of Lane.
Boo.
I don't know. The life.
It's not the worst answer I've got, so that's
life
good.
Of Pi.
Life of Pi. Was that even a good? I haven't seen that movie.
I don't know. I like pie or the life of cake. How about that one?
Life of cake, eating cake.
Oh no. How about the life of Big Chungus? Because I'll call myself Big Chungus.
Big Chungus. He like kicked Thanos' butt in that one video, right?
Sure did.
There you go.
With
So last year.
Reverse Uno card.
Yes.
That was good stuff.
So last year, but it was a good time. All right. Who inspires you to be better?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the first thing that popped in my mind is when Star-Lord in Infinity War is like, what am I supposed to say?
Jesus?
Which is true, but I don't know. I think I won't really put any names, but I think maybe it's not necessarily someone like a mentor that's trying to make me better, but just kind of some people that I've seen kind of fail one way or another, me just trying to avoid that path and trying to be better, I guess, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Like personal failures or like historical, not people.
Personal.
Fair.
Yeah, close to.
Am I your biggest inspiration?
Clearly, you're my biggest inspiration.
Oh, no. Okay. What is the best video game ever made?
Oh,
Fallout.
Well, yeah.
New Vegas.
That's a good question because clearly I would say Fallout New Vegas, hand down. That's
a very good game.
Huge fan of Fallout, and I cannot wait. Did I tell you I think I might buy a PC just so that I can download Fallout 4 New Vegas remastered.
Fallout 4 New Vegas.
Yeah, they're
Fallout 4 New Vegas.
Correct. It's called. I think they just call it Fallout 4 New Vegas for some reason. But basically, it's New Vegas with like Fallout 4's engine. So like the shooting mechanics and the graphics are like a ton better, and there might be like settlement buildings.
Is there like the dialogue tree of like triangle, like square, circle, or is it actually?
There's not. No, they're going back to the better one where you have like all
like
these
that.
options because of the special and the perks and the stuff.
Have you played Outer Worlds at all?
I have.
Well, I know they go, but yes, that's a good one. I started playing it per your suggestion, and
you don't have to like it. I just really
no, I actually like it. It can be kind of stressful. It's harder than I thought it was gonna be. I keep getting killed, but I'm also kind of a jerk sometimes.
Well, then don't you always play on like the highest difficulty?
Not for Bethesda game, or in this case, Obsidian games. I'll play like normal, like Skyrim. I'd play normal on. But a lot of other games I play on hard because I have balls like God of War. You know, how can you play that on normal, like Pansy Town? Okay. Two audience questions right here from someone named Hallie Cole. I don't know if you've met her before.
Know her, yeah.
Oh, you do? Perfect. So she's asking, what's your favorite pun?
My favorite pun? Oh, my gosh. I don't know. I feel like I kind of have it in my head, but I don't. So when I'm saying, yes, I'm just happy I remember this because last time I couldn't remember anything. So at least the pun I like right now is I got this from the Scooby-Doo robot chicken from Shaggy.
This is not going to end well.
And he's like, hey, Scoob, we got to be like hockey sticks and get the puck out of here. I think that's I don't know if that's a pun, but like that's.
I guess it's kind of a play on words, yeah. Get the puck out of here language, but.
Yeah.
Was that the one where like Velma fell off the building and then got hurt, and then they replaced her with? Was it the girl with the dragon tattoo or something?
So, yeah. I think that's the one.
Oh gosh.
That one's fun. And then there's the one where they actually get all killed except for Velma. That's like the Friday the 13th one.
That one ended weirdly. I was like, this is not what I did not want to see this.
Yeah, that was funny.
But it was a good one. All right, next question from Hallie. She's asking, which is better, to fly or drive? Or fly or drive? I assume she means like flying or...
Yeah. Well, at first it sounded like it was like a... which superpower would you rather have?
That might be.
Drive?
That's the thing with audience questions. Like, whenever they're not here to like fully clarify. So I assume it meant that, but I guess...
I mean, I think I'd prefer to fly, but then like if you're going to a destination, then you're gonna have to get a car to drive around places. So Uber's way too expensive, but then the car rental's too expensive. But then you have some places like California where it's like I would never drive there. That's way too far.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
So I guess fly.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess if you didn't have to deal with runways and all that, it'd be like a helicopter. Okay, actually, it turns out there's a third question from Hallie. I put this on the back of my paper, so I love my audience questions. She's asking, mushrooms on pizza or no? We actually kind of had this conversation earlier through text, but not officially. I did not because of this.
I do not like olives on my pizza. Mushrooms are fine, but I kind of prefer without them. But they're fine. Mushrooms. My philosophy with mushrooms is since you can eat them and die if you eat the wrong type. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
I used to not like them, but now I do.
Gotcha. All right. Next question. I asked you this one last time, but as a thrower, what is a stereotype you live up to? I think I've asked you this one last time, so let's see if it's the same.
It's probably the same. Just being able to kind of. I have been trying to watch my weight a little more. I got BMI, like an accurate, like a legit BMI, and it was pretty high. Even though like I also had like it like showed I had a lot of muscle mass, but I also had like a high body fat percentage. I'm like, I probably should do something about this. So I know we just ate McDonald's, but
yeah, we did.
For the most part, I am trying to eat like not only less but better. But the one thing, and I think there's health benefits and training benefits to that. But overall, I think the big thing I live up to is just I kind of eat whatever I please, and there's no weight class, so you just kind of train hard and fuel with decent food and eat whatever as much as you want. And
that's true.
That's about it. Yeah.
Gotta love your throwers, right?
Yeah, it's nice. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure. What are some small things that make your day better?
I think one thing is really unfortunate. I wish as a Christian I was much better at this, but if I really do take the time and learn something that I can apply in my life in like morning devotionals and really like set my heart upon like the things that are above, it actually does make a big difference in how I act during the day. Understanding the perspective, like going to work at Lake Center, it's like I could just go in and do a bunch of stuff and be bored with it and complain about my job, or I could understand this is a mission to better people, a mission beyond myself and me being a part of this. Kind of gives me a different perspective. So coffee helps when I'm really tired, but having a really good perspective to start my day, spiritual or just mental, makes my day a lot better.
Gotcha. So just having a good small preparation goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. All right, 2 more questions, then we'll be done with the warm-up.
Yeah.
Plandemic, real or not?
Plandemic?
You know what plandemic is?
I've never heard of it.
Really?
No.
Oh. It's some...
Is it like the pandemic was planned?
Yes, there's a documentary that was posted on YouTube and all over the social medias. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but they took it down and declared it a conspiracy and all that. So it's like, oh, that's all right. There's a lot of sources like, oh, bash. I don't know. I didn't see it, so I figured maybe you might have. So
I haven't seen the documentary. What I do kind of believe, and I wouldn't, if someone were like, hey, would you die for this? I'd be like, heck no. But I kind of believe that whether it was an accident or a mistake, even if it was an accident, I do believe China failed to notify the world about what they, and I do A, believe it originated in China, and B, I do believe the Chinese government said nothing about it and then said something about it once it spread.
Yeah.
Whether to go as far as creating a biological weapon and not only to lower world population and to like oust Donald Trump, I don't know. That's, I just don't know.
None of us know.
But do I believe, I forget the question. But do I believe they stalled on purpose to tell anybody? Yeah, I kind of believe they did.
Yeah. I think it, like, from my understanding, do I think it was something that was chemically engineered to wreak havoc? Probably not. Yeah. But I definitely think the government's reaction was abysmal at best.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
But that's what happens when you're a communist country. Like, you got to look perfect, otherwise you don't retain power. And
I heard like in North Korea when they found out the first coronavirus case, they literally were executing people.
Do you remember where you saw that at?
No.
Was it my Snap story?
It probably was.
Because I remember seeing an article. No, it wasn't that he had it. They suspected they had it, so they shot him.
Really?
Yeah, so they're like, man suspected of corona is shot in North Korea. They don't mess around over there. They don't mess around.
I guess I'll give them that, if anything.
I guess at least they don't have it going down. But yeah, no, it's crazy. All right, final question. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Oh my goodness. Actually, the one and I could have had a better compliment, in my life. But one that struck struck me recently was I was playing pool with a friend down in Lynchburg.
Is swimming?
No. Oh.
Boo. Okay, you were playing billiards pool.
Yeah, we're playing billiards, and a friend of mine said I don't know what he was looking at, but he said like basically on the interactions he was having with me, he mentioned that he can definitely see like the Holy Spirit in me and working and definitely like kind of acting out, whether it was like works or just personality, like being a Christian. And like, I know my scripture relatively well to know that I'm a Christian, but I don't know, to kind of have someone else tell me that or affirm me, and that's kind of.
It's nice to have that confirmation. Yeah, where people are like, oh yeah, you're a Christian. Yeah. And it's funny, just like even going to, say, like a school like Cedarville Liberty, how other people think of you in that light. So they hold it. Even at work, there was like details I could go into, but I think we're kind of running out on our warm-up time. But anyway, point is like I said some things at work once that were probably not the most appropriate. I think something like something's a whore or something like that. We call the thing that brings the work down to the workers the whip fairy. So I was like, the whip fairy is being a freaking whore right now.
My gosh.
Because they weren't bringing work to my workers. And my process assistant was just like, aren't you supposed to be like a nice Christian boy or something? I was like, they say whore in the Bible. But I was like, dang, I didn't even tell this person I was a Christian. Then, like,
wow.
I don't know. Maybe they stalked me, or maybe I said something earlier. Yeah. I mean, there's times where I'll like say things in the group chats, like Christian, like, but in a funny way, just like, I forget. It was like, oh yeah, we shall sin so that grace shall abound or something. They're like, wait, what? Like, isn't it the other way around? It's like, yeah, it's like, what do you mean? It's like, oh no, it's a play on in Romans where Paul says that. So I don't know. I like to just have fun at work, but anyway, it's just crazy how like when you're in the world, like people see this stuff, and to be able to call it out, hey, you're this thing that you say that is your life, you're actually doing that. That's always a nice feeling.
Absolutely.
All right, there you go. Well, congratulations. You survived the warm-up again.
Thank you.
I think, oh no, there's another person that can say that the last interview I did. But congratulations, you survived again. So
thank you.
So we'll be back in a brief moment after a brief mention of our sponsor. And yeah, hear more about Lane Hluch.
Richard Head here with another amazing product. With all this coronavirus that's infecting our country, we've discovered a cure, COVID-X. With our patented blend of herbs, spices, and dish detergent, it's guaranteed to cure not only coronavirus, but COVID-19 as well. Watch as COVID-X cures my own personal case of COVID-19. Cough, cough. Never felt better. But wait, there's more. Order within the next 90 minutes, and you get a free case of Covich absolutely free.
Warning, side effects may include but are not limited to vomiting, increased sickness, dying, and worst of all, everyone knowing you're an idiot for drinking toilet bowl cleaner. COVID-X is not for everyone, or really anyone when you think about it. Call your doctor if you are actually considering taking this product, and when we say doctor, we mean psychiatrist. Don't take COVID-X if you actually have coronavirus, COVID-19, or any other disease. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's great to have you here, and it's still great to have Lane Hluch here. Great conversation so far. And now that we've survived the warm-up, we'll get more in depth on who he is and all that jazz. Part 2. Yeah, this is Lane Hluch Part 2. So I want to start off with this. How different was your life 1 year ago? It's been quite of a journey these past few months and years.
Yeah,
so
pretty different. Well, it would have been technically the summer. I think I was like definitely committed going down to Liberty. Did not have all the logistics, but I graduated from Cedarville, got my BA in biology, ironically, and to be honest with you, I don't know if it was a God thing or not, but I just kind of found myself wanting to teach. I really don't know how that avenue kind of happened. Excuse me.
Are you talking like after you graduated?
Kind of during. Because I did make the decision. I was in contact with Liberty's throws coach appropriately. I got on the transfer portal.
Of course.
And I was looking in their programs. But actually, I think it might have been as far back as January because I was looking into Kent State's MAT the summer before that, Masters of Arts in Teaching, which means you can have any degree and you'll get your master's and your license at the same time. Liberty and Kent State had it, but Kent State had like a really hard deadline and all these requirements. Liberty was no joke. Was like an unofficial transcript and an application that took like 3 minutes.
So if I wanted to go and apply, and well, I used up all my eligibility, so but
yeah, but no, you could if you wanted to apply for like their doctorate in I don't know business or master's in business, all you would have to do if it was an online program, all you would have to do was just send an application, your transcripts, and you'll probably be accepted.
Well, let me sign up right now.
It's all accredited, but yeah, it just kind of worked out. I had the desire to start teaching after tossing couple programs, couple tracks around, and I kind of knew I was still wasn't like good enough to be like really competitive D1, but I knew at Liberty I could succeed and kind of want to take my talents to Division 1, Division 1 track.
Okay, LeBron.
Yeah. And Cedarville didn't really have any grad programs I was interested in, and it was way too expensive. But Liberty was much more cheaper. It was accredited. The application process was great, and I knew the coach, throws coach, before going to Cedarville.
How'd you know? Oh, because
I went on a recruiting visit at
Gotcha.
Liberty. I loved it. I probably would have went there. I had the desire to go there just as much as Cedarville, but at the time, I really thought I was going to do geology.
I remember this, yes.
But that clearly changed. So
yeah. Well, you went to Cedarville just because of their geology program. So if Liberty would have had a geology program,
some small things too. Two other small things was it was closer to Holman. It was a smaller school, so at the time I kind of liked it. But at Liberty, I kind of like it. Like I like when the school's really big.
yeah,
I almost said I like it big, but that would have been really provocative.
like really.
So I put the school in there. Anyways,
Fair enough.
So a year ago, I had it in my mind. I was accepted the program, but I had to kind of get some logistics, some financial set away,
yes.
which happened pretty smoothly.
Money.
If you went to now, they're all loans, but when you get into grad school, your federal loans go up like significantly because you're like kind of on your own.
They don't help you out as much, yeah.
Correct. So I got like a lot more loan money
Instead of grants and
Correct.
scholarships.
Yeah. So worked out. And
Gotcha.
I mean, I would say now we're here, but a lot has happened since then. So.
A lot has. I think the last time I saw you was it like December or something? I'm trying to think of the last time we've seen each other. It was...
Cedarville's indoor track meet.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yes.
We sat in the library on that weekend and just
Yes.
chatted for like an hour or two.
That was good times, man.
That was a good time. I remember first walking in, and I was so mad. One of the people came up and they were like, "Hey, Wade, we just broke your record." I'm like, "Not hello, Wade. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
of
Just we
course.
broke your record." I was like, "Okay,
Hi,
well,
nice to meet you.
nice to see you again. Like it's been, oh, thanks." It's like that's okay. The writing was on the wall with that one. It was actually kind of funny. Later that day, it was the next day. Right, I think it was either right before or right after I saw you. Went and saw Matt Bird, who was on the same relay team that I was on when we broke that record. So it's kind of neat. Like literally, the record I had got broken. Is like just got to chat with him about. I was like, yeah. Well, I mean, life goes on,
Yeah.
just like as much as people didn't care that or I guess people cared when it happened, but it's like now that just becomes a record for other people to break.
True.
And the cycle will just go on and on. So one day people will be going after your records.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm sure there already are. Yeah. So
Luke had great potential, but he needs to work on his mental game. And I'm not. That's not insult. Just some people can train and go like crazy hard and do well in practice, but then they fall apart in meets. That's basically all Luke is. He's got a good head on his shoulders and he trains hard, but.
Listen to that, Luke.
Yeah,
Listen to that if
I'm
you're
still
listening.
Calling you out, boy.
Yeah.
Step up, break my record.
We've got this on a public forum, so we know that people can be listening and everybody
right.
talks. So talking to you people
right.
too. But yeah, it's kind of weird. And I don't know, life has just been so weird. I mean, life was weird going into college and all that, but once you graduate, I don't know. This last year for me, it's definitely kicked my rear end quite a bit, just going out into the real world and working. And you think, at least for me, because like I need to lead a shift and do all this, it's like you think you know all this stuff, and then you go on this shift and then get your butt handed to you, and it's like, but it's like we're 20. I assume you're 23, right?
Yeah,
20. Yeah, it's like we're 23 years old. We got whole lives ahead of us.
But hey,
unless we die.
You never got fired, so you must be doing something right.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. I haven't been fired yet. Maybe. Oh gosh. But everybody, all the people I'm working with are going to like other fulfillment centers. So like, yeah, I guess I don't know if I should say too much because like public, but yeah, it's like everybody's going either to like Toledo or maybe not too many to Akron. I figured some might go to Akron, but whatever. I missed that boat, but I wanted to stay in Columbus anyway.
I like Columbus a lot.
Columbus is a nice city. I want to live there for a few years. But yeah, so what would you say is from Cedarville to Liberty? I guess we kind of talked a bit about on like the official way, but what about the physical way? You know, I mean, we already talked about the paperwork, the knew this guy, knew that guy, but what about kind of going from Cedarville to Liberty, like drive down? Oh, the campus is like this, you know. Give us kind of the rundown on that.
Yeah, so I was really excited. It was such a long drive. I drove down myself. It kind of felt like a leap of faith because I got kind of everything straightened away. I purchased some I'm sorry.
Hello.
I purchased like some teaching memberships that I needed to do and got my books and looked at my classes, talked to my advisor, paid my security deposit in my apartment, and kind of like everything was taken care of. But except for that visit back in high school, I have not been down to Liberty since then. Going by myself, it was honestly like very exciting. Like it wasn't even like that nerve wracking. Like I was just really excited to experience. I was going to mention this, even though I'm glad you asked me this.
You're welcome.
But I was going to mention this anyways. Is like it was just kind of awesome. Like just knowing that I was going to experience this completely different new world. I loved my time at Cedarville. But I really encourage if people have the opportunity, whether it's athletics or whatever it is, other academic opportunities. Like you were on the speech team, and like if you get a scholarship and you're still in grad school, I really encourage people to get out to do something new. I know Liberty's still conservative; it's still a pretty Christian university, but
it's still different.
It's still very different. The area is very different, and that was kind of awesome. Like I felt like I told several people this. I felt like a kid in a candy store when I got down. Like everything changed. Like there's this new tower, there's a new science center, a new music center, several new dining options. They have a student center and a student union, a new field house, all this new stuff. And I think even the apartments that I was in now are probably less than 5 years old.
Oh, really?
It's like so much has changed. It's like just when I thought I knew the campus, everything is completely different, which is awesome. But going down for the first time, going up to my apartment, you actually go up. It's real close to campus, but you go up this really steep hill on Liberty Mountain, and you can see the campus from there. It's like I could see the tower and all this other stuff, and I was like, wow, this is it. I'm here, and that was really cool. That was kind of, and then just trying to learn everything and experience everything and soak it all in. It was fun.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the nice, like, just experiencing other college campuses. I mean, college campuses are essentially designed to live on. I mean, Cedarville's, even though it's small, they got the lake, it's designed to live on. So being able to go and see other campuses, I enjoy it. You mentioned the speech team, so I'll throw this out there. Like, one of the benefits of the speech team was, I mean, you think of track and field. When you go to a campus, you only see the athletic fields, you only see that. But with the speech team, our athletic fields was the classrooms. So you got to see the campus. You had your lunch in the dining halls, all over the place. So like with that, I was able to go around. I'd see many campuses go out. Like since it was a small team, they could fly us out to Arizona, like and California. Like I've actually been able to see Azusa Pacific and their track.
Cool.
But not because of track. Like I remember being there and like looking at their track. It's like, well, I mean, like the mountains in the background, very beautiful. I remember just thinking like, well, I mean, I guess I didn't get to come here for track, but at least I can. I mean, I don't go around saying it on the team because like, oh yeah, good for you. But it's like, at least I got to see it. You know, it's like, yeah, it's not as great as I thought it was gonna be, but
it's pretty crazy to think how like. Obviously, money is kind of a big obstacle,
Sure.
and shipping all your stuff out to, like, say, California or Colorado or Texas is a big hike. But, like, I don't know, when you really break it down, if you're able to afford it or find way to afford it, you really could go anywhere and do anything.
Well, that's one reason they say that Corona has spread the way it has. Our world is so connected these days. I could go from here to China and I mean, it'd take a while. Like, I went to Australia once, and the flight was like 20-something hours. But I'd imagine the flight is probably about the same to China. But still, the fact that you can get there in less than 2 days, it's kind of incredible. I mean, that's a feat that was not able to be achieved 100 years ago.
It took months to go across the Atlantic Ocean.
Exactly.
That's the small ocean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right when she said Atlantic. I mean, Christopher Columbus, it took him a while to get here. Now we can get over there in, like, hours. And even just technology, being able to reach people, being able to do this. I mean, I'm not that wealthy, and I'm able to cameras and microphones. Like, definitely the barriers to entry and a lot of opportunities are a lot lower. Now, granted, to have someone actually view your content is another story, or make something meaningful of it. Like, one thing I noticed, because I was out in Hawaii a while ago, and what would happen is people could afford to get out there because they're like, all right, we're going to go out to Hawaii and do all this amazing stuff. Falls apart. You're homeless. How do you get home? You don't. You stay homeless there for the rest of your life because it's like, what are you going to do? Swim home? Buy a ticket? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Or like even LA, their homeless problem is quite ridiculous as well.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy, dude.
But yeah, anyway, just like in our modern world, the fact that we're able to go in a lot of places, like Corona probably wouldn't be as bad as it was had it not been for like our modern abilities. So
yeah, that's interesting.
But also, you know, I enjoy our ability to go wherever we need to.
Of course. I mean, connections are very, and even like the routine in life, I think is very necessary and valuable. I just think it's kind of interesting how, and I also think it is wise to, I mean, if you can live in a nice house or like you just got an apartment, that is nice. But like as a single guy, I mean, you could live in a trailer, you know,
it's true,
for goodness sakes, and have this crappy home, but then have like, you know, thousands of dollars worth of like items in there. So you're paying like real cheap rent. And actually my Theo 2 professor told me about this. It's just like, you know, you recognize if you're a single guy, you literally can do anything. You could live in the back of a van and be completely happy and . But that's the reason why I mentioned it. Is like, it's interesting when you really think about, it's like, I could have went to Florida State if I wanted. I could have went to Texas. I could have went to UCLA if I got accepted and had enough money and thrown for them, even though I definitely would have been just a walk-on. It's like, dang.
I do wonder at times, it's like, did I make the right choice going to Cedarville? I mean, I think I did. It was a great education. I wouldn't do grad school there. I'd maybe do like OSU, or I'd want to go D1 with my grad school if I could, get my MBA there. Looking at you, Amazon, do you help with that? I don't know. My one OM was trying to get me to go to Toledo a bit because they're opening in Toledo. I'm like, well, give me a $10,000 bonus and promote me to L5, and then maybe we can do grad school. And he's like, he just laughed in my face. I was like, whatever. But we also have a relationship. I've said some things that I probably shouldn't say to my boss. But, you know, whenever you have a good relationship, it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Crossing
how I
that
am.
barrier. You got to know when to cross the barrier. It's like, are we cool now? Can I say this?
Yeah, it's
that's a tough step.
Oh, it's very tough. But once you do it, that's why you got to build a rep of just like saying whatever you want, or like being an idiot. Because if they think you're stupid, you can kind of like get away with more, right? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's a weird way to look at it. But just look at our current president. It's like, is this guy very intelligent? Apparently he's got like an IQ through the roof, but
Oh, really?
oh yeah, they like did some thing where they IQ tested like, or I think they did like a list of all the IQs of the world leaders, and Trump was like, he was really up there. But I mean, you think about it, to be a man in that position, to become president, it's like no political experience, no, because I mean, you think about the way he markets himself, it's like, the freaking heck is this idiot? But then it's like, but wait, when he talks, it actually resonates. Like, you still remember what he says.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a lot of politicians, it's like, what was their slogan again? Like, does Biden even have a slogan? I mean, granted, Trump's is just like a washed up of what his other slogan was, but it's still not endorsing anybody here, but still, it's like.
I actually thought, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I was going to say, I actually think Obama was a phenomenal public speaker.
Oh, he's a great, him and Trump are great public speakers, but for like completely opposite reasons.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you're right, Obama, he is a great public speaker.
He's very
like,
complex and very good in his word choice.
Yes.
While Trump sounds so much more basic, but like you said, he still has like this conviction to his speech for sure.
Like Obama, like that's the thing with both of them. You can remember their slogans, like Obama, change, moving forward. I remember those very well. Trump's make America great again, keep America great. You know, like, okay, is it because you were there, or obviously? But like Hillary Clinton's slogan, you even remember what hers was?
Something together.
Stronger together. It was I'm with her, but then Trump was like, well, with her it's about her, but with me I'm with you. I was like, all right, well played. And then
like everybody was like stronger together, better together, together.
Oh, Cedarville?
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh yeah, no, that was stronger. It was like everybody's slogan.
Do you remember when the freshmen were running for like SGA? Like all of them were like rooted.
Yes,
in the gospel,
roots.
Rooted in
Root. Yes, at Cedarville, that was our senior year. All the freshmen when they were running for public office. And you can't get as good as Vote Wise or Vote Kaiser.
That was
like
pretty good.
nobody.
I did vote for. Did I vote for you? I can't remember.
Wait, what?
I either voted for you guys or I tried to, and it didn't let me. Like it was one of those two things.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I voted for you guys though.
I don't remember, but yeah, because I remember we were down at Emory in Georgia whenever that election went down. Yeah. Because I remember finding out the results that we lost. And I was like, I mean, I wasn't like uber pissed, but nobody likes to see that they lost.
I'm sure Logan Springfield rigged the election.
Oh my God, Springfield. I like Logan, but I don't know him like at all. But still, it's like we were talking earlier about like throwers, runners, other managers at my plant. It's like, yeah, you get along, but it's like, I'm the best one here. we're going down. It's like sprinters on Cedarville's track team. Like now it's like, oh yeah, you know. But a year ago when I was on that team, it's like, no. Like I may not act like I think I'm the best here, but believe me, when we're done here, I'm gonna show you. Yeah. Oh no, I get that. All right. Oh my gosh. So I had a plan here and we went way off track. But that honestly, like I didn't even plan that much for this one because, you know, why would I? So what would you say your first day of class was like? I don't know. And then first day of practice, all that. Like you already told me about what happened when you walked in. Like how'd that all go?
Well, I was 100% online now. My program's like I said.
But you took online classes at Cedarville, so there's probably a bit of a comparison.
Yeah. Liberty has their like they use Blackboard for their classes, which I kind of like. I used that when I was at Kent State back in high school. But yeah, I was kind of used to it, but it was very different being 100% online. Mm-hmm. I somehow was able to though. Oh gosh, I was still able to stay focused. I would like kind of
of course.
I would do like maybe like the learning parts of the reading, the watching of lectures, reading of articles, earlier in the week, finish some easier assignments. We have these things called discussion boards. I guess it's really common when you have like Blackboard as a
I wouldn't know, but okay.
Yeah, there are discussion boards where you post a thread based on some sort of question, and then you're supposed to reply to two people's comments with comments, and those were like due on Thursday. So like I get that done, then depending on the extent of the work, I would do like the major assignments on the weekend. Okay. And that was pretty much how it was. But the first day, it was just navigating through Blackboard, seeing what I had to do, what books I had to buy.
What books you really had to buy?
That's the spirit. But I was just sat there at my desk right next to my bed. As it is very what's the word? It's very unexciting.
Mundane.
Mundane, yeah. But it was just, I got out of bed, I went to my desk. I think I went to the bathroom first.
Thank you.
Well, I went there and then I
Did
think
you
put my
poop or
contacts.
pee?
I think just peed.
Just sharded.
And I just went to my desk and did just kind of typical stuff. I was like, okay, that's it. First day of practice, unofficial practice, I just kind of threw some guys at their throws facility. Official day, it was had some meetings, had some like a physical done, which we kind of did. We had at Cedarville.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
So but the first day, what? Oh my
Sorry.
God, shut up. But the first day it was just, I don't know. The first day of official practice was just like throwing and lifting. It really wasn't anything exciting. It was pretty cool though to meet a lot of the new throwers and step into their indoor track and talk to the coach and just kind of get the lowdown.
Gotcha.
Very excited for the season.
Did you exchange PRs? We're like, I could throw this, and then everybody's
I don't
like,
think so.
no.
We didn't.
So this brings me to an audience question from Trevor Ranieri, solid man, and he's asking throwing PRs? Question mark. So exchanging PRs.
Yeah. So college PRs. I'll start with the worst. Discus, I think,
hammer
is weight. Hammer is 39 something. 39. I don't remember. 39.40.
Are we talking feet or meters?
Meters. 39.40 meters.
Inches.
Which is like 128 feet. Shot
that
put
sounds about right. Okay.
Shot put's 1334, which is like 43 feet 9 inches.
Okay.
Hammer is 186.5. 186 feet 5 inches.
So why is the weight throw worse than the hammer? Isn't it basically the same thing?
It's the same technique, but it's
like a ball on a chain, right?
Yeah, it goes the same distance and everything. And then my weight throw PR is 1735, which is 56.11 and a quarter.
Quarter of an inch. All right, nice. So progressing from the winter to spring season, you didn't throw in any indoor meets down there? You just came to the Cedarville one, right?
I did throw in 2 meets down there.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, so actually I did not PR in the weight. I didn't throw as well as I did the previous year. I do truly believe I was on track to throw quite a bit better in the hammer that year. But the interesting about the weight is like I might look like a big guy, but really in the throws world,
there are some chunky people.
Unless you have some really like good technique, if you're not at least like 6'2" and really strong, you're not gonna do too well in the weight. So I did really well my last year at Cedarville because I put a lot of time into the technique, a lot of time into working on it. Liberty, I just touched it once a week and then would throw it in a meet, and to kind of develop the timing and the rhythm with that, it takes a lot of time.
Sure.
And I also trained through too. I would throw 4 or 5 days a week, and then still compete. So would still lift per usual, and stuff like that. So, based on like how well I was throwing in practice, I think I was on track to make some good improvements, and probably be number 2 all time at Liberty. Which I would have had to thrown over 60 meters to do. It didn't really show in the indoor. It was pretty disappointing, but after kind of reflecting on some things, I knew that the outdoor, I think, was going to be a lot better. Yeah.
I will say, for me personally, I hate indoor. I mean, is that because my biggest injuries happen during indoor? That doesn't help, but
yeah.
I generally just don't like indoor. I mean, it's small, it's more compact, stuffier. The running track, 200 versus 400. I mean, throws, you guys, even the weight compared to the hammer, it's a heavier ball, more compact. I don't know. I just don't like indoor. But, I'm glad it's there. I'd rather go indoor than throw outside in the snow. But, yeah, I don't like indoor.
That's the spirit. I actually like indoor, even though it's the exact same thing. I like indoor. I like the feel of the indoor shot more, so I kind of like the
Oh, you do?
indoor shot. And when the weight, like anything, when it goes well, you tend to like it. So when I was
Yeah.
throwing weight well,
That's a good point.
yeah.
That's a good point.
And
Yeah.
actually, when we did an inner squad back in late November, it was the Monday after Thanksgiving break.
Yes, I remember.
I threw 16 meters 59, which is like 54. I think it's just over Cedarville's school record. No, it's like just over or just at Cedarville's old school record in the weight. And that was like a 2.5 foot fall best I've ever thrown with the weight. So I'm like, wow, the training definitely showed. I'm paying off. I'm getting better. But like I told you, I just did not put enough time in to develop the timing and technique.
It's hard. I mean, you got other things to do.
Yeah. So
Especially when you're a student athlete, it's not like athletics is your only thing.
and when I didn't have, and since I didn't have indoor eligibility, I just said, well, I'm just going to train for hammer.
That's true.
And the same thing for this year too.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I respect indoor. I'm not, I wish it didn't exist, but I don't know. I also kind of like outdoor too because believe it or not, when the weather is terrible, I don't mind that a whole lot because to me, it's one of those things that it affects me a little bit. But I think since my competition hates it so much, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. I was like, they're gonna be so miserable. It's like I'm just gonna look past it and just go. So
maybe you won't PR, but the fact that you can beat a lot of people, that's a great perspective.
oh yeah, some people when it gets cold, they fall apart. It's like I'm gonna take advantage of that every single time.
Heck yeah.
So all right, well we're hitting about our 30-minute mark. I'm gonna need to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back to hear more and kind of finish things up.
Richard Head here with another amazing product. With all this coronavirus that's infecting our country, we've discovered a cure, COVID-X. With our patented blend of herbs, spices, and dish detergent, it's guaranteed to cure not only coronavirus, but COVID-19 as well. Watch as COVID-X cures my own personal case of COVID-19. Cough, cough. Never felt better. But wait, there's more. Order within the next 90 minutes, and you get a free case of Covich absolutely free.
Warning, side effects may include but are not limited to vomiting, increased sickness, dying, and worst of all, everyone knowing you're an idiot for drinking toilet bowl cleaner. COVID-X is not for everyone, or really anyone when you think about it. Call your doctor if you are actually considering taking this product, and when we say doctor, we mean psychiatrist. Don't take COVID-X if you actually have coronavirus, COVID-19, or any other disease. All right, welcome back for the final part of this podcast episode. I know, right? 3 parts. It's great. So I guess we'll get the ball rolling again with an audience question. This one comes from Maddie Pfizer. She's asking, which is better, Liberty University or Cedarville University?
That's a great question. I know this is kind of the stereotypical lame answer, but it really just depends completely on your perspective. I think Cedarville, because it's more close-knit, you have a better opportunity to meet people and better opportunity to interact with people and develop really good friendships. But I think if you get involved at Liberty, did I say Liberty or Cedarville? At Cedarville.
You started with Cedarville.
Okay, so yeah, that correct. But
Would you like to restart your answer?
Yeah, so I can't remember if I...
So at Cedarville, closer relationships?
Well, I said Cedarville, and that's correct. But I think I might have slipped in Liberty, even though I was still talking about Cedarville. Basically, at Cedarville, I like the lake. I know a lot of people hate the lake, but it reminds me of water. I love the water.
I mean, it literally is water, yes.
Well, yeah, but like some people think it's nasty, which it kind of is. Actually,
I'm glad it's there. I think they should turn it into a parking lot, but yes, I like the lake.
I don't know about that, but but I think it just has the better opportunity to be more close knit, to meet more people. Mm-hmm. I think it's not. I think in a biblical point of view, it's on a better track than Liberty. Liberty's getting a little loose, but at the same time, I don't know. Not everybody's perfect, but physically, and then of course, if you like a smaller school, I think Cedarville is the way to go.
Yeah.
But Liberty, like honestly, just because it's so much bigger, I think is better in quote unquote every way. Just because it has more dining options, it has more stuff, it has more stuff to do. It's located in a city where there's a lot more stuff to do. I think the mountains are way more beautiful than Cedarville, and the sunsets I think are just as great. And more athletic opportunities, better facilities. I guess for me personally, I like Liberty more. But then I wouldn't have not been able to meet you or at least more personally, and Wyatt and Maddie too, and the people on the track team and my major and stuff like that. It's like you can't put a price on those friendships, but objectively, now that I like the bigger university more, I would say Liberty's better.
Gotcha. Yeah, Cedarville I definitely would say is more like an inch wide and a mile deep, and Liberty would probably be more like a mile wide and an inch deep. Maybe that might be a good way to describe it. I don't know.
I guess both the same depending on your perspective, but like you said, it's like, what's your perspective? Is the glass half empty or is it half full?
Or maybe it's full of water and air.
Oh, I never thought about that. That's pretty good.
I just thought of that right now. It's like, I don't know. What's the third option for a joke, Anyway. Okay. So you said me at Cedarville. That's the only reason that place was great, right?
Yes, Wayne.
Okay, whatever.
I will say they did have a great outdoor track facility.
They do, yes.
Cedarville's is really nice.
They don't know how to run a meet, but they do have a great facility.
They sure don't.
Yes. So many good memories of meets not going according to plan. And then like other people, I think we were at another meet. I think it might have been like Tiffelberg last year, or maybe it was a few years ago. Someone started bashing on the way Cedarville ran our meets, and we were standing like right there, and I just looked. I was like, well, I mean, okay. And they're like, oh, and then we all just kind of had a good laugh over it. It's like, I'll give you that. Like, that's fair. I still love it and love my time there. But, yeah, there's a few meets that were questionable. Okay, well, since you mentioned me in there, and I want to awkwardly segue this into two audience questions I got here. This is going to either be really fun or really awkward. We'll see. Okay. So, yeah, the first one comes from my sister, Morgan Kaiser, and she's asking, what is your favorite memory with Wade? Oh, the host.
Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know if I really have a particularly favorite memory, but I've enjoyed like the one-on-one conversations we've had.
Gotcha. The ones where you're in my room in your underwear and then we'll just like chit-chat.
Yeah, there's something about it where it's like no one else knows we're here talking and just the stuff we can talk about. So sorry I can't mention like this really great memory, we had. But just like the one-on-one like in the library when we came back and just able to talk among them. It was really good times. So I guess it's the spread of just a good friendship that's really.
And that was nice too, because I feel like the only reason why I went to that meet was basically to see you. And I mean, I was like, I already went to a meet. I feel like I've been to enough Cedarville things. Like, I unfortunately developed a side rep of, oh, well, here comes Wade again. Like, he can't get away from us. It's like, I mean, I've been here, 3 times? But, it's just like, that's the thing with people. You can't give them too much time. Otherwise, they think you have nothing better to do than to spend time with them. You gotta act like you don't have enough time for them sometimes. But anyway, just like, I'll go see Lane. Like,
I appreciate it. I mean, I was there for several days, and although I was pretty caught up in stuff to do, I kind of like saw a lot of the Cedarville people that I wanted to see the first day. Knew I was hanging out with track people most of the time, so it was actually kind of nice to see you and one of my friends, Seth.
I think I remember him, yeah.
Just to chill and stuff like that.
Exactly. It's nice to just kind of chill and just talk to people sometimes because there's a lot going on. So
I'm actually going to go back this year, too. I hope to throw better than I did,
at the indoor meet?
But I think I'm going to go back.
Yeah, we'll
do the
see.
Same thing. Hopefully I'll have less schoolwork.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, no, I don't know if I'll be able to go. I just know that.
I might just visit you in Columbus, really, if I had the time.
Yeah, what the heck? Why haven't you visited yet?
Yeah, so
Boo.
I've just been working, and then if I'm not working, I'm taking care of the dog. I know
I'd say bring your dog, but, maybe you shouldn't.
That's a long
You
drive.
Shouldn't. Your dog would pee in my apartment. She'd pee all over it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, and I also work Thursday, Friday, Saturday right now. Like, that 1 week I went to that home meet was like the 1 week where I haven't worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday night since the beginning of this calendar year. It was just a week 0 thing. The building was launching. They're like, we want all of leadership here on days for a week. And it was a nice experience. I had a good time. But
Good.
just like weird how like that one weekend I was like, oh, looks like I'm actually going to be able to go to this thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So, all right. So my next question is on the flip side. This one comes from Andrew Reinhard. So better be careful on how you answer this one.
Yeah,
Thank you,
really.
Andrew. He's asking, what moment have you been the most disappointed in, Wade?
Disappointed.
Disappointed.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I really can't think of.
You
anything.
can't think of anything.
I don't know if I've ever seen you really disappointed in something. I don't know. I mean,
A general letdown, maybe.
um,
At least satisfy Andrew's bloodlust.
I know. I want to give him an answer, but I also want to be honest. I'm really trying to think of something where, oh man, it's really let me down.
Maybe I should have sent you this one in advance. Not that
Probably.
I've ever done that to anybody before.
Gosh. Can we go back to this one?
All
I'll
right.
try to think of it, but I'll try to.
I'll let you think about it.
Thank you.
All right. So, what would you say is the typical day in the life of a Cedarville student versus a Liberty student? Just changing the subject out of nowhere, so you can kind of go through that, and maybe that'll help you kind of think of an answer for that.
I don't know about that, but oh, the typical. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, I don't. I mean, I haven't being like online. I don't really interact with campus as well. But I would say the things that kind of differ is, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, in my perspective, sure, it's real different. I mean, Cedarville, you go to breakfast, you go to class, you go to chapel, you go to class again, you go to lunch, you might go to class another time, you go to track practice, you know, you go to dinner, you do homework, you go to late night run to Walmart or the Rip,
Yes.
and then
Right.
go to bed. At Liberty, for Liberty, for me personally, get out of bed when I felt like it.
Mm-hmm.
Study maybe in the morning. Usually study in the morning. Eat breakfast. Watch TV while I study.
Mm-hmm.
Go to practice for like 3-4 hours. Eat dinner. Maybe study.
Gotcha.
It really just was a lot more like a lot less structure, a lot more freedom at Liberty. But
Gotcha.
if I was trying to put my shoes in like an on-campus student, I would say a lot of it's the same, but you wouldn't have chapel every day.
It's like every twice a week or
twice
something.
a week they had what's called convocation.
Ooh,
Yeah,
sounds more official.
Yeah, and then you just have class, and you'd have 20, 25 different dining options. So I suppose you go to somewhere different once, I guess, every month, or I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I would say Liberty invests in athletics way more than Cedarville does. There's a lot more of a fan base, which I think is really cool.
Wait, do people actually come to track meets? I
Some.
guess
It's not like that kind of crazy, but just like the student morale for athletics, especially football and basketball, is kind of cool to see.
Yeah, Cedarville didn't have a football team, which they shouldn't. They should not.
So I think I would say like the morale for sports is much better, and then if you're an athlete, you definitely put a lot more time and effort into like your practice itself.
Gotcha.
Than I think you would at Cedarville, unless you're really dedicated or like really good team.
Yeah.
But that's really about it.
Yeah, that's the hard thing. At least I think of back in my times at D2 college sports. It's like I feel like I worked hard at practice. I wouldn't say that I was lazy. Well, some may argue that. I don't know. Who cares? But I definitely feel like if you wanted to get a full experience out of like your workout, to reach your full potential, you definitely have to go outside of the parameters and do stuff on your own, which
that's hard.
I did sometimes, but especially
like, what do you know is right? What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
What if I'm trying to research and find out what works better? What's the best program? What's the best way to do things? How do I know what to trust? It really is hard. And then of course, you and I talked before this podcast about, me being able to lift with my brother this summer is going to make a world of difference compared to last summer. Having somebody to train with is huge.
Oh yeah, like training on your own is hard. I don't like it. And even whenever you don't have a specific goal you're going towards, at least in college, it's I want to run faster. Yeah. All right, fair enough. Whereas now it's like I want to not be fat. I don't know. I've been wanting to get into like martial arts and stuff. I got into it a little
Nice.
bit, and then Corona hit. So, but gyms are opening, so
That's
I might go in for lessons next week. I don't know. I
Yeah.
got my butt handed to me a few times already. So,
Oh, nice.
but you know,
So I actually thought of something for Andrew's.
Andrew
question.
Reinhardt. All right.
So I know it's kind of some people probably get a good laugh out of this, and I know it's kind of the stereotypical answer for you personally.
I think
but
I know what it
I
is.
was pretty disappointed when you broke your hand.
All right.
I just knew. I think you did a very good job as a team captain. I'm not just telling you that as your friend.
Oh, really?
But
Oh.
you know, to kind of like, I don't know, and being in the moment, I know it's so different when you're competitive and trying to beat somebody. I you know, I can't really relate to that. Being in that moment kind of thing. But just, I don't know, just to kind of carelessly punch the ball. Just like, it doesn't look very good, Wade. But,
No, it doesn't.
But I know you've learned from your mistake, and life moves on. And if for what it's worth, I'm not like super disappointed. But if I had to pick something, it was when you broke your hand.
I was actually waiting for you to say that, but you didn't at first. Here's the thing. So I've thought about that quite a bit. I even went on a run earlier today, and as I was running, like, my hand still feels weird. Like, I don't think it's something I'm ever going to get over. Like, my ring finger is actually longer, and my pinky is shorter. Like, I've compared them, and they're still that way, and it's going to be that way for the rest of my life, I think. So it's kind of like, that's weird. But I've thought about it, and it's like, do I regret the actual action of it, or do I just regret the consequences of that action? Honestly, I just regret the consequences. Like, as terrible as it sounds, it's like, if I was in that situation again, would I have done everything the same? Probably.
I feel like
Probably.
Some people, I feel like some people are like, if I would do it again, I definitely.
I don't think I would have.
I was thinking how, like, now sure, if I got if let's say I look back in Jesus's time and he was walking around preaching how he was the Messiah, I would like to say the good Christian boy I am would love to say, like, oh yeah,
I probably would have hung him on the cross. Yeah,
I've
been like, crucify his.
I don't know if it's a good example, but I know what you're saying. It's like, I like to think that I would have done the right thing. I would have followed Jesus, but honestly, if I was just like everybody else, I'd probably been like, if I was in your situation, I probably would just.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not. I don't know. You'd have to be there to know, but you might have. Well, and here's the other thing, like that. So in that race, I pulled my groin, ran through it. That's not the first time I pulled my groin running in a race. Mm-hmm. I've done it before, and I've recovered not that long after. So it's like, here's the thing. If I pull my groin, then I stop. I recover in 2 weeks. You were just talking all this crap beforehand. Oh, did you just get nervous that you're going to lose?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not.
Yeah.
I still would have ran through it. I probably would have still lost, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, between that, I mean, again, I run through with my groin. Sophomore year at GMAC, ran through a groin injury. Believe it or not, actually at that Emory meet, I remember pulling my groin running the 2 and then running the 4x4 after that, and it actually went okay. I mean, it wasn't my greatest race, and obviously not, but because I remember going to the trainer there, and that's the nice thing about track meets. If you have an issue, at the end of the day, we all care about ourselves. You can usually slip under the radar. I remember talking to the trainer, and like, she kind of iced, and was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, I'm sure. It was also right after I lost the election, so I was super pissed anyway. I was like I don't know. It's a nice thing about rage. It, like, gets you doing things.
Gosh.
So it all adds up. But anyway, like, I was like, here's the thing. If I recover, then it's going to be like, I don't need that rumor on my hands. I don't need it. Would I have punched the wall? I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I didn't. It's not like I planned on it. But I don't know.
Sorry.
Seeing how, I don't know, like, I have this scar on my hand right now. I got that because I punched out a window after I broke my hand. So it's not like I haven't punched things after. It was like a broken down place. I was just there. It was actually not even because I was mad. I was like, oh, like, dang. And like, the first one I hit just like comes and like cuts my hand open. I was like, oh, naturally, it's like, oh. So yeah, I know it's funny. The one person I did that for is like, you still haven't learned your lesson. It's like, I guess not. But the point is, it's like, I think that's the big, at least I'll admit it. Like, I think that's usually how people are. It's like, do we regret our our bad choices, or just the consequences from those choices? And honestly, I just regret the consequences. Like, because I've punched things afterwards. I've probably punched more things now that I have broken my hand. But,
Try and get stronger.
oh, yeah.
Go back to Otterbein, punch that wall. You will win.
Freaking, I will break that. I'm telling you, if I ever become like super wealthy or like a dictator and I start like tearing things down, that's the first wall I'm going to break down. I'm going to get a wrecking ball, knock that sucker right down.
Otterbein. Like,
burn
just like, what is it? Ronald Reagan. Otterbein. Tear
down
the
the wall. Yes. Oh, that's funny. I was hoping for something else on that question, but that makes sense. What else?
No, you can ask if you want. What?
Sure. No, it was Andrew's question. So thank you, Andrew. You got us talking about punching walls. Good times.
Oh, nice.
What's a disappointment we have in the Reinhardt twins since he asked that? I don't know.
I don't know if I really have any disappointments. I don't
know if I
they're,
know
they're
them enough.
Good guys, but I don't really know them
Enough.
I don't think as well as you do.
That's fair. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one either. If they were here, I would tell them, but I can't think. I can't think of anything. So now let's say, okay, so Lane's got his Masters of Teaching. He's got his classroom. What's Lane's ideal day in the life as a teacher?
Ideal day in the life of a teacher? Okay. Well, as man, I keep saying like stereotypical. I need to stop saying that. Really, I hope to really learn and apply good classroom management skills where I'm able to just get my kids to act the way they're supposed to act. I mean, I don't know what's going through those kids' mind in and out every day.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, I had the opportunity to shadow at a school where it was an inner city school, and like these kids are coming from crack houses and don't know when they're going to get their next meal besides school.
Mm-hmm.
They're worried about home. It's like, why the heck are they have to worry about prokaryotic cells if they got this to deal with? And it's hard for me to put myself in that perspective. I was very blessed to grow up with pretty good support at home.
Oh yeah.
And I hope, with greater knowledge and learning, and as I hope to always do, I'll be able to get that perspective. And I kind of would like to teach in more of a town, rural area. But just the ideal day for me is just to have my students believe in me as I believe in them, to try to give them as much autonomy as possible, to learn as much as they can on their own, to have that desire to learn and recognize that they're going to have to do it, and try to find some sort of connection between the basic science we learn and to why it really is important. And that's honestly, that's going to be kind of tough because it's like,
it's hard enough to believe in yourself, let alone convince someone else to believe in themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not easy.
So just to have good behavior management, classroom management, and even though I hope to teach in a public school and there's the separation of church and state, just to try to spread the gospel or try to get these kids thinking about Jesus one way or another. I'm fully aware of that stuff, and no, I do not plan on getting fired. And being biology, I understand I'm going to teach evolution. That's no problem to me. But yeah, you just can't say people can do whatever they want and toss morals out. There's a reason why morals exist. In my opinion, I think there's a reason why morals exist. It gives you a compass, rules to tell you how you're supposed to be. And if I'm not mistaken, there are studies and research showing that teachers are starting to integrate character education back in the classroom, and the reason why kids are starting to behave pretty poorly overall and getting a lot worse. And I can give examples from the practicum I've been in. Kids have just kind of gotten worse because now there's like less and less stuff teachers can do. Oh, go to the principal's office. Oh, I'm gonna have to write you up for detention. It's like, deep down, it's like, what does that accomplish? It really accomplishes nothing. So just to be like, hey, this is the way you're supposed to act. No, you cannot be that way. You have to be honest.
Like, why?
You have to tell the truth. I think is way more valuable. And are those answers in Judeo-Christian ethics? I think so.
They can be, yeah.
But I think people need to start agreeing on what's good and what's not, and stick to it no matter how much culture changes, because I just think it's in my opinion, I'm just 24 of 36 credits into a master's in teaching program, but from what I've seen and what I've learned, it really is valuable to develop the character of students, because that's so much more valuable than the crap subjects we teach.
Yeah.
Not necessarily crap, but like
I see your point. Yeah.
It's so much bigger than
yes.
trying to make sure you pass the ACT.
It's true. Yeah. And I mean, they so like to me, you can be an atheist and still have a good morals and all that if you choose that. However, from a societal standpoint, to have good morals from like overall aggregate societal standpoint, from an atheistic standpoint, it's very difficult, I think, because the thing with like theism, like that God is like irregardless is apparently not a word, regardless of what that divine being is, at least there's that compass to keep it all consistent. Whereas when it's atheism, there's not really that main compass that is firm, concrete. You gotta just move around as society. Tyranny of the majority is what the term I've heard before, which is ironic because it seems like in societies where the people in mass have like a bigger say, they usually tend to just sign it away to a dictator or something like that, which is kind of ironic, but security over freedom. But anyway, at least from like a theistic standpoint, at least you have like that. And that's not even just like Christians don't corner the market on that like Muslims, I guess Hindus, although everything's God to them. But anyway, still, there's at least that cornerstone. So it can be kind of tricky.
I agree.
So
you can still be progressive. You can still engage culture. You just, I think there's like the morality is such it's
tricky,
crazy foundation that people just think it's not a big deal. But.
And like there's times where people make the argument, if you're an atheist, like you can't have morals, you can't have hope, you don't have meaning. I disagree with that. Just your meaning is different. Like some people I've met who are atheists are really nice people, and some people who are Christians are really terrible people. It's just like oh gosh. So it's just one of those. But from a societal standpoint, it's definitely different. Yeah. So it can be tricky. All right, nice. Oh man, it's falling off my my holder here. So do you like my microphone holder here?
Yes, I do.
It's great.
It's very nice.
So yeah. So okay, So I guess we should probably start wrapping this up here.
All right. Did you have any more questions? I don't know if I was
had a few written down.
Any of them
I guess
more interesting than the other.
How do you want to impact your students?
I think I already answered.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, you answered that one.
Understand that developing character, good behavior is not just some nice thing to do, but there's a reason why rules are the way they are, and then you just lead to lawlessness, and it's like, I can do whatever I want. No. I think it's right, so I can do it. No. You know what I mean? Is that yeah. So just be able to just make them better individuals and help them understand why this is why you need to learn stuff. Yeah. But that's it.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I had a few things written down here, but I mean, you already answered them like that, or why teaching. I mean, unless you had something else to add to that, but really, why? To me, it's like I have a plan here, but why? Yeah. Ask something again if you already answered it.
No, that's fine. I mean, I don't really mind. But no, it's I guess. I mean, I know you're trying to end soon, and I don't really have anything.
Unless you want to talk about something else.
Well, it's interesting about
what have we talked. What have we not talked about that you want to talk?
We haven't talked about Corona.
We talked a little bit about it, but okay, let's talk a little bit about Corona. We got a few minutes.
I think frankly.
What's something that hasn't been talked about with Corona that can be talked about? Because it seems to be a very reciprocal.
I'll just kind of give my opinion.
Whatever.
I am by no means an expert. I'm not a virologist.
Vaginalist?
No,
virus specialist.
Virus specialist.
Well, whatever.
I can't even say it. I know I don't work in healthcare.
It's fake.
Wow. But I think they should probably just restart. Not restart, but they should just get the economy going again, get everybody back to work. If you feel like you're in danger and potentially get sick, take precautions or stay home, and hopefully, and those employers should provide you the accommodations necessary. But I think everybody should just get back to work, start as normal. And I know it's like, well, so Lane,
You want people to die.
It's like, no, I don't. It's just it just seems like the country's completely torn and the situation's completely torn. Destroy the economy or kill people. And it's like, well, I don't want either, but we gotta do something here. And again, I'm very limited on my research and my knowledge on this, but I've watched or I know enough. I've heard enough to say, like, that's just my opinion. I think we could go on and on about this topic. I've heard stuff about 5G spreading the virus more often.
Yes, I've heard that.
We talked about like China.
Yes.
And it's a long topic. I'm just very thankful that our family hasn't been affected. And ask that. And when it comes to, hey, do you want to? So I know. I'm sorry.
No. Go on.
But like, with someone who's very blessed and not had a single economic financial issue during this coronavirus, it's very easy for me to it would be very easy for me to be like, oh, let's just stay home, let's be safe. But you ask someone who's unemployed and about ready to lose their house or ready to lose their business, and it's like it's a completely different perspective, and I can't speak for those kind of people. I hope they can make it, but
well, and I was talking to my roommate who's from India, and he was telling me, like, in India there are certain people who work in the slums, like, they get their paycheck every day, so they go out, work, get their paycheck, bring it home. It's because of the stay-home orders, they can't go out and work, so now they're just basically starving. Jeez. And it's like, I get it, we want to stop and be careful, but also I get it, like, you can only stay home for so long. Like, you can only get, like, I go out and work every week. Why is the corporations being able to get away with it but not small business, Like, are we going to make exceptions for, you see lines of people going into Walmart and into Target, and then it's like, oh, but we can't have this. Picture of people graduating.
Absolutely.
It's just
I completely agree. And even though, like, Amazon might be taking those kind of precautions.
Oh, they've been taking so many precautions, yeah.
But still, like, you're telling me you can't have a restaurant at half capacity, or you can't, do something,
Yeah. Oh, I love my job. I love Amazon, but yeah, I can definitely see why. Like, it's like, oh, so you're letting them operate, but I mean, we still have strict. Oh my goodness, we have strict 6 feet, strict masks. Like, it's so yeah, they have these strict, like 6 feet apart, strict masks. Strict. I'm gonna go as far as say it's ridiculous, but it's quite excessive. Like, they even have area managers. I got to go and do, like, social distance ambassador and, like, go around and make sure people are wearing their masks. Which I'm glad they have it because, got to take precautions. But also I hate leaving the floor because it's like, those are my people out there. I need to be there with them. But but also when I'm doing this social distance, I got to be careful not to go back into my department because if I do, next thing I know, they're all swarming me like, oh, they told us that you weren't going to be around today. Or like, oh, well, I need your help with this. It's like, oh, dang. Like, and I want to help them, but I need to get out of here. Yeah. It's like, these are my people. But yeah, they've been taking a lot of precautions at Amazon. It's crazy. Like, you got to wear a mask. I'll grab some on my way. I'll wear them in my vest. Be like, all right, well, you need to wear yours. And I'm not just saying that because they may look at this later. I really mean it. But yeah, I agree. Like, I think it's time to, do I think, go back to completely no masks, completely nothing? No, we should probably be a little careful. But it's like, there have been diseases around for so long. It's like, so we're going to let this one disease, like, dictate everything? People have been getting sick forever. So, I don't know. I might get in trouble for that
you're
now.
Absolutely right. I don't know if you're really going to get crap for that. And then, of course, we talked also about how, just because it's not necessarily a death caused by corona, it could just this person happen to have corona.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But, I remember we talked about this before,
yes.
So it's like, oh, we've talked about this. No, we haven't, at least on here.
Yeah, not on here. Go on.
But
we got time.
You were telling me about this, and it's like, just because someone had corona doesn't mean they died from corona. Of course, but basically, the deaths from corona in the United States are considered if just someone has the corona and dies.
From something else, yes. It's corona, yep.
Yeah. And it's like
insurance, money.
Yeah,
And here's the best one was the one I told you earlier that I heard today was there's a guy who's going through chemo. They cut him off because of Corona, closed the hospitals and non-essentials, if you will. He dies. They considered a Corona-related death because technically he stopped receiving his chemo because of Corona, but it's like, what are we doing here? So it's, I mean, he probably would have died anyway, but still, like, at least let him have more of a fighting chance, or I don't know. You never know. Maybe the next round would have cured him.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and so it's like, then you have the situation of like, oh, maybe this guy died completely unrelated from Corona. This lady died, kind of like this gentleman who was like, it was kind of unrelated, died from Corona. But then you have like some other lady who was like, had, let's say, like, these immunosuppressive diseases, and then they did actually die from Corona. It's like, okay, that's fair, include that in the statistic, but to include these other like related deaths or these deaths that actually are unrelated, but they just happen they had Corona. Like, for goodness sakes, I wonder if they even include like, hey, this guy died from a car accident and they had Corona 2 months ago.
Coronavirus killed him.
Death. I don't know if
they still have deaths from other things these days. I thought people only died from Corona.
Oh my gosh, dude! Oh, I think we can go on and on about this, but
we could. We still got time.
I guess we do.
Why?
But okay, never mind.
All right.
No, you're right. We do.
Fair enough. Okay.
But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, it's been crazy these last few months. I still remember, and the thing that's crazy is like the day they started closing things down. Well, they think they closed a few things down, but when it really got crazy was my brother Wyatt. He went out to Vegas, and then like the morning we picked him up from the airport was the same day they closed Cedarville, and then they started closing everything else. Like, you lucky piece of crap. Like, if you'd have gone to that 1 week later.
A couple days later.
Just a couple days. Yeah. That's crazy.
We could, just like we're talking now, we could talk all day. Did the government act appropriately? Did we overreact? Did we underreact? I don't know.
It probably depends on the state.
I don't know.
Like Ohio, DeWine was like on it. Like 3 people had it. 3 people had it. I'm very certain it was 3. Or if it wasn't 3, it was not that many more. Everything shut down. But then he also looked at the other states. New York. Holy crap. Talk about a cesspool of Corona. Yeah. I mean, they were literally taking corpses out and putting them in trucks. So it's like, I can see why people are reacting the way. I mean, you see a pile of corpses. I mean, you can change some serious policy. That's the thing. I mean, a dead body like that, you can get a lot of policies changed with that.
It's crazy to kind of include a little of that science that I learned in. It turns out natural selection isn't the survival of the fittest. It's just the species that survives according to the change in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I feel like I've heard this before where like cities really determine like the politics and the way people should act around the rest of the country. Have you kind of heard that before?
Depends who I'm talking to, but yes.
It's like cities like have kind of like everything that's going on. They have it on, and they kind of like spread that influence across the rest of the country.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how you have the coronavirus where it could really just annihilate cities, but then people out rural,
they don't care.
They can thrive. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of interesting how like a virus that could spread so deadly where even though maybe people might say, oh, the people in the city where they're, you have the richest people, the most intelligent people, I guess overall, you kind of get what I'm saying?
I see they're supposed to be the elite.
The elite. They run the world because of their corporations and stuff, which is completely fine, which is pretty fine.
Okay.
But then you have a virus like this, and it's like evolution, natural selection just
weeds out the elite.
Exactly. It just worked the way it was supposed to work.
Interesting.
Exactly how it was supposed to work. It favored the people most suited to the environment, and the environment was loaded with a virus that killed people in close populations and interactions, and then people. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you even look at 2016, the election. Like you see most of the United States from a like population like geographical sense was red, and you had a few pockets of blue. But Hillary Clinton still won the popular vote because all the cities voted for her and all the rural areas voted for Trump. And it's crazy how many people are in those small pockets of places.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing this up for like a him, her, that, but it's like just looking at the like demographics. I saw this one map where it was like it showed like a sliver of, I think it was like LA, San Francisco, and then it like showed like encircled like majority of the West or something. It was like the amount of people in these two areas is equal to the amount in this area. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
It's like I can see why they have the electoral college.
Yeah.
So it just like how many people are in that close of a proximity.
Yeah.
And even Ohio, I was looking at a map recently, and it was the amount of corona cases overall by county. Franklin County, which is Columbus, had majority by a landslide. Summit County was second, which is Akron. I think it was Summit. Or them and like maybe Cuyahoga County had a decent amount, which is Cleveland.
Yeah, which is Cleveland.
I don't remember what Toledo's county is. Whatever. Who cares about Toledo?
Oh gosh, I don't know what Cincinnati's county is either. But you're right. I bet those are the
Summit was up there. Franklin had it by most, but I mean, Columbus has a lot of like types of people coming in. Like at Amazon, when I was at CMH1, you had a bunch of Napoleons. Where I'm at CMH4, like it's a very diverse area, which has its pluses, but also whenever like diseases come in from like all over the world, you also have all over the world coming in, and then it's like,
oh yeah.
So it's like, there you go. I mean, where these rural areas, they stay secluded, they stay in their area, they stay 6 feet away from it, I mean, you don't touch it. So it's crazy.
Oh yeah. It's crazy.
All right, man. I think I'm ready to kind of wrap this up. Was there anything else?
Not really.
I don't know. Did you want to show off your guns? He rips off sweater. Guess I could pull mine out, but
oh, it sounds like someone wants to.
No, I'm just kidding. Or this guy. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Well, so from today's discussion or life in general, if you have one final piece of advice, what would you like to share?
One thing I've learned, and I was actually thinking of this because, like, let's be prepared for a question instead of be like, oh, I don't know.
There you go.
But one thing I've kind of come across in my life is life becomes a lot more enjoyable when you enjoy the journey just as much as the destination. I think a lot of people think the destination's worth it or like is so great, and the journey's like, who cares about the journey? But you learn. It's kind of where you learn, where everything happens. Really, I mean, yeah, you look at a completed piece of art, and it's like, oh, that looks great, that's phenomenal. But you don't really. I mean, I guess outsiders can learn, quote unquote, from the piece, but like the artist, it's that journey, how they got to it is. I feel like that's where all the learning and the experience takes place. So, find something where you can enjoy the journey just as much as the destination.
I'd say that's actually some pretty good advice. Yeah, that's definitely something. Even this last year, I've learned a lot because, like, you graduate college, you get there, it's like, all right, finally, I'm there, and then, oh my gosh, there's so much more, I mean, we're just getting started. I mean, even once you graduate grad school, you go to teach. I mean, it's different.
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, I guess you can say I was a futurist, if you will. I was always like trying to like plan for the future, like try to be the best athlete I can, do as well as I can in school, so I can get this great college scholarship, so I can get to a good college and be successful, and then have this great job. And it's like I keep looking forward, and then I never really looked at the present. I never really looked at the journey and how much I can learn. I can still have those good future goals, but like, what am I gonna? I want to kind of continue my college journey, so I'm going back for another year.
Yeah, enjoy the present.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's a present.
That's right, Kung Fu Panda, right?
I think you're right. Yeah,
or at least that's where I heard it.
Yeah, that sounds actually. I think yeah, that's where I heard that too. I forgot. Thank you for enlightening me with that. All right. Do you have any additional shout outs you'd like to give before we wrap this up?
Not really.
No?
No,
You don't have to if you don't have any.
not really. There's a lot of special people in my life, but they know who they are.
Of course. All right. Well, thank you, Lane. It was great having you here.
It was a pleasure. Thanks, Wade.
Of course. And thank you, my beloved audience, for listening in. It was great having you here as well. And like always, have a nice day.